Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, partners, analysts, members of the press, and our executive management team. Welcome to Transnational Corporation Plc Investors and Analysts Call for the group's unaudited Q3 2025 financial results. My name is Dr. Evans Okpogoro, and I have the pleasure of hosting today's session. This call is a key part of our investors' engagement efforts to provide us with an opportunity to walk you through the recently released unaudited Q3 2025 financial results, highlighting key developments across the group and share insights into our strategic outlook for the remainder of the year. Joining me to lead this call is Owen Omojafo, the President, Group CEO, Transcorp Group, and Mr. Festus Izebizwa, the Group Chief Financial Officer. Before we begin, a few housekeeping notes. This call is being recorded. All participants are currently in listen mode only. If you have any questions or comments, kindly use the Q&A box located at the bottom of your screen. We will do well to address all the questions as time would permit at the end of the presentation. Please note that some of the statements made during this call are forward-looking in nature. This statement reflects our current expectations and projections about our future plans, strategies, and financial performance. While the information shared today is based on our sources we believe to be reliable, we encourage all participants to conduct their own due diligence and seek professional advice before making any investment decisions. Neither Transcorp Group, its subsidiaries, or affiliates shall be held liable for any discrepancies or outcomes arising from reliance on these information. With that said, thank you once again for joining us today. It is my pleasure now to invite the Group President, Owen Omojafo, to deliver her opening remarks. Good afternoon, Owen.
Hi, Evans. Thank you so much, and thank you, everyone, for joining today. So let's just give it a little bit of time on that disclaimer statement. Thank you. If you can go back, please, Evans. Thank you very much for taking us through. And just to draw analysts and all the viewers' attention to this, is contained on page 2 of the deck. So once again, you're welcome to everybody. If we can, please proceed, Evans. So you're welcome to our investor call. Just a little bit about Transcorp. So we are Africa's leading diversified conglomerate with a commanding presence in power, energy, and hospitality sectors. We have strong financial performance underpinned by a very aggressive growth agenda, as our numbers will tell you, and as our history also supports. Our purpose is to improve lives and transform Africa. So in everything that we do, we are guided by that and driven by our core values of excellence, enterprise, and execution. A little bit about Transcorp. We were incorporated in 2004 and 2006, the parent company, Transnational Corporation Plc, or Transnational Corporation of Nigeria Plc, as it was known at the time, was listed on the Nigerian exchange. We have about 300,000 shareholders, over 2,000 employees, and we operate in 3 key segments for now. But being a conglomerate, we continue to look for expansion opportunities. The highlight of our performance for Q3 is that we've achieved a 39% year-on-year growth on our gross revenue, achieving 413.44 billion naira as at Q3. On profits, increased by 20% year-on-year and are now at 91.41 billion naira. And our market capitalization, the combined market capitalization of Transcorp Group, which is made up of Transcorp, the parent company, Transcorp Power Plc, and Transcorp Hotels, stands at $3.35 billion, which is 4.86 trillion. And this does not actually include the other businesses that we have as of now. Now, talking a little bit more about our investment sectors. In power, we are direct investors in generation. And through 3 power plants that we have about 2,000 megawatts of installed capacity. The first of said investments was in Transcorp Power Plc, which was listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange last year, March 2024, in line with our philosophy of Afro-capitalism and shared wealth. That company today has a market cap of approximately 2.6 trillion naira. And perhaps a bit more importantly, is that out of an installed capacity of 972 megawatts, we have an available capacity of 625 megawatts. And as we go further into this presentation, you'll hear more about how we are making an impact in what we are doing. On the other side, we have Transafam Power, which was our most recent investment in generation. So Transafam Power PLC and Afam 3 Fast Power PLC combined, we call them Afam Genco. As at the point of acquisition in 2021, there was an available capacity of 35 megawatts. Today, we are now at 348 megawatts, being from the Afam Power PLC as well as Afam 3 Fast Power. Following on our purpose of improving lives and transforming Africa, 2 years ago, as part of our resolution to resolve the power challenges in Nigeria, we joined a consortium and through an indirect investment, invested in Abuja Electricity Distribution Company. And that was because we knew that we need to be a part of the story that is getting the energy to the last mile user. And Abuja Electricity Distribution Company has a coverage area that covers about 126,000 square meters, covering key states of Abuja, Niger, Kogi, and Nasarawa. And then moving on to our hospitality segment, the jewel of the country, Transcorp Hotels, the proud owners of the iconic award-winning 5-star Transcorp Hilton Abuja, located right there in Maitama, 667 rooms, 20 meeting rooms, 7 restaurants and counting, and most recently this year, the launch of the ultra-modern world-class 5,000 capacity event center. And of course, the company itself was listed in 2015 and today has a market capitalization of approximately 1.8 trillion naira. And the last investment segment we have is in energy. So Transcorp, we operate an integrated energy strategy, a gas to power strategy that we're using to continue to drive forth our purpose of improving lives and transforming Africa. So we are the operators of OPL 281, and this asset is driving said integrated energy strategy. And we are also through Transcorp Energy emphasizing and driving our investment in renewable energy. And this is how we're going to continue to move forward. We are proud to be led by a strong board of directors with our group chairman, Mr. Tony Oedumelu, the Africa capitalist himself. And we have a very strong and diverse board of directors, highly experienced, highly skilled people who are very, very passionate about the development of Africa, of course, starting with our country, Nigeria. And for my management team, joining me on this call, we have our key management staff. We have Peter Ikenga, who's the MD CEO of Transcorp Power, Uzo Oshogwe, MD CEO of Transcorp Hotels, Vincent Ozode, MD CEO of Transafam Power, Chijioke Okonkeye, who leads AEDC as the MD CEO, and we also have Christopher Ezeafulukwe, MD CEO of Transcorp Energy. Christopher, however, is not on this call today as he's attending a course at the Cambridge University in line with our continuous development as we strive to transform Africa. Other key management staff, Festus, you will meet as we go on. We have Stanley Chikwendu, who leads our legal and regulatory management, Chinwugo, Group Head of Internal Audit, Sheun, Chief Information and Technology Officer, Deshola Shitu, Head Marketing and Corporate Communications, and Atinuke Kolade, our Company Secretary. Now, as we move on into the numbers, soon I will invite Festus to talk to you in details, but to put a bit of context, let's just have a few minutes on the macroeconomic overview. In September 2025, inflation in our dear country stood at 18.02%, a significant drop from the 34.8% that was reported in December 2024. This drop has largely been driven by the rebased consumer price index, and which is now rebased from 2009 to 2024, and actually been the lowest inflation we have seen in a while now, since 2022. FX rates as at October 28, 2025, stood at 1,448 naira to the dollar. And the stabilization of the FX due to improved FX liquidity, stronger oil receipts, and the monetary policy that we've seen by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Our foreign reserves stand at 42.6 billion, reflecting a 5.2 increase from our position in December 2024. So with that, our outlook for the country. Nigeria's GDP is now projected to reach 3.9% growth rate by the end of this year, which is up from the earlier estimate of 3.0%. And this growth is expected to be driven by a gradual recovery in the oil sector, supported by improved security and production volumes, continuation of the structural reforms across energy, financial service, and fiscal policy, as well as increased capital inflows and a more transparent FX market based on the stabilization of the FX regime. However, we remain cautious because there are still the global trade tensions, which could also impact external demands and supply chain. So at this point, I will hand over to my Group CFO, Mr. Festus Izevizwa, to take us through the Group financial and operational performance. Thank you.
Thank you, Owen. Very good afternoon to our esteemed investors and analysts to this call. We are happy to report and present to you our 9 months unaudited financial performance of Transcorp Group. As Owen had earlier stated, our performance reflects our strategic objectives, which include to grow revenue and profitability, to drive up operational efficiency, and to constantly maintain a robust capital for the sustainability of our business. At the end of the 9 months, our revenue grew by 39% from 298 billion naira last year to 413 billion naira as at 30th September 2025. While the profitability also grew by 20%, profit after tax from 76 billion in 2024 to 91 billion in the current year. Now, this performance I have just mentioned, the revenue growth came largely from Transcorp Power and Transafam, as well as Transcorp Hotel. The power sector contributed about 20% to the growth in revenue, while the hospitality business contributed as much as 20%. We're also happy to report and present to you the growth in our shareholders fund, which represents a tier 1 capital, and it is going to deliver the promised growth strategy that we have earmarked at the beginning of the year. We're also happy to say that the total asset base of the company has grown by 25% from 751 billion to 941 billion naira. Now, the contributors to this growth the growth in revenue is further analyzed into Transcorp growing by 38%, Transafam revenue growing by 99%, and Transcorp Hotel growing by 49%. Now, this growth further demonstrates that the contributors to our group revenue base continue to witness significant growth in their own individual earnings, which further demonstrate that we have a strong asset base, we have a strong earning capacity, and we have a sustainable future, that the group is not having any threat to going concern as we move on. Now, when you stretch that further between the power sector and the hospitality business, for the first 9 months of this year, the power sector has already exceeded its revenue for the whole of 2024 by well over 5%, which means for the remaining period to end the year, the performance of the Transcorp sector will exceed 2024 performance. For the hospitality sector, the growth in the business arising from innovative strategies to drive operational efficiency, continuing to secure more reliable patronage from our esteemed customers, resulted in revenue growth from 48.6 billion naira in 2024 to 72.3 billion in 2025. And the growth in this revenue far exceeded what we recorded full year 2024. A further demonstration that there's strength in our basis, and it is sustainable as we move into the new year. Now, the segment reporting of our business further indicates that all the parameters, our return on asset, return on equity for the Transcorp business, they are positive, stronger than even the yield curve on government securities, and this is sustainable as we move into the new period, the new quarter. For the TransAlpha business, we're happy to report a strong growth in revenue of 99% from 25 billion in 2024 to 50 billion in 2025. And we're also happy that the performance of TransAlpha have brought strong profitability of about 2 billion at the end of the 9 months, which is far more than what we achieved in the prior period. We're also very comfortable and positive that the relocation of our TransAlpha, 4 of the turbines to Ughelli will further strengthen this growth in revenue because of the relocation to the source of gas supply, which had been a major issue in the prior period when we reported. TransAlpha, for instance, for the 9-month period, have grew its generating capacity from 38 megawatts to 81 megawatts. This is going to double as we move into the next quarter. Now, this performance in revenue and profitability were actually enabled through strategic and effective management of our various stakeholders, including the gas suppliers, as well as driving operational efficiency in the plants. Now, for the hospitality business, have done exceptionally performance in the first 9 months by growing the revenue by 49% from 48.5 to 72 billion. And this was made possible through innovative strategy, operational efficiency, and digitalization of the platform. We're also very proud to say that the earning capacity of Transcorp Hotel have been expanded to include the iconic 5,000 seater capacity Transcorp Center, which was launched during this period. And it is expected that as we move into the Q4, the revenue from this source will further increase the performance of the Transcorp Hotel. Now, the key drivers of the hotel, which we have worked on, and our management is very positive about them, include the innovation, digital transformation, as well as optimization of our cost control opportunities. At this stage, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to invite Owen Omongiafo for the continuation of the presentation. Owen, please.
Thank you very much, Festus, for taking us through the numbers of the group and then the operating entities. Note the performance of each company and how we have sustained growth across each of the companies, not only on the top line, but also on the bottom line. Whilst, of course, looking at the ratios, each ratio has improved. So thanks, Festus, for taking us through all of that. Now, remember, Transcorp Group, improving lives, transforming Africa. At the core of what we do is a strong ESG strategy. We are strong believers of sustainability. We are strong believers in long-term value creation, and that's why we are patient investors. And of course, we invest in sectors that are catalytic to the development of Nigeria and by extension, Africa. On the environment side, we are happy to report that for the period under review, we have been able to achieve 15.34 tons of recycled waste. This is predominantly mostly from our hotel business, because you can imagine how much of input goes into driving the business, and we're able to recycle, thus to our bid to preserve our environment. We are keeping our water conservation project along all the plants that we operate in, from recycling our water to water the grass, to managing the pressure of our showers and our taps and the automatic water dispensing system as a way to conserve water. Our ISO 1401 environment management certification is renewed and up to date. And our Soap for Hope initiative continues to be right there at the top of what we do, again, as a means to minimize waste. Taking further that intention to minimize waste, we have also deployed in the hotel the fixed dispensers for the soap, the conditioner, the shampoo, and all the things that hitherto we used to have a lot of plastic that is not helpful, that is not helpful to the environment, rather is harmful. But with what we have now, you actually just use the one that is fixed, which lets us preserve the environment at a much stronger basis. On social, diversity and inclusion continues to be at the core of who we are. We have a combined representation of 32% of directors being female across our group, and our key management staff are 21% female. And note that we are operators in energy space, which hitherto is largely male dominated. It just lets you know how strong Transcorp is doing. And when you also look further on the diversity, we are very diverse in education, age, geographical representation, because we understand that diversity is key to innovation and key to sustainability. Community impact and empowerment is something that's also very integral to our group. We are very grateful to the communities that we operate within, and we have a strong symbiotic relationship. And we continue in line with our principle of Africapitalism to do well and do good. So to highlight just a few things that we do within the community, there are quite a lot, but just to highlight a few, we have a vocational skill training and entrepreneur empowerment program, whereby we create platform for youths to be trained. They go through a long training period. At the end, they are not only equipped with the skills that they have gathered through the training, but they're also given a seed capital to use to commence their own life, and by so doing, employ others. Education is critical. We're happy to share that we've continued to run our Transcorp schools in Ughelli and Afam. And we have, in Afam, we have creche, nursery, primary, and secondary. In Ughelli, we have nursery, primary, and secondary. Now, why am I emphasizing the creche? A number of times you see that women cannot go to work because they do not have a safe place to put their babies. With this creche that we have and the nursery school that we provide, we're able to create a safe place for people to leave their children and knowing that they're getting good quality of education whilst they go on to earn a living. We have approximately 2,000 students, and we are indeed very proud of our schools. We also have the business empowerment program for women, which is very, very targeted. This is deployed in Abuja. And what we do here is to train women, empower them with skills in fashion design. They come, they don't have any skills in them. We train them. At the end of the program, they are given fabric, given machine and equipment that they can use to set up their own fashion design institute. Again, furthering that thing of you're not just empowering one person, but you're empowering a community because we're giving them life skills that they can use to do this and extend further. Still on what we do in promoting our social responsibility, we have two healthcare facilities that are managed by Avon Medical Practice, one in Ughelli and one in Afam. The one in Afam provides care to the community, and through this medical outreach, we also promote maternal health care through the provision of antenatal services. And we do this because we need to improve maternal mortality rates in Nigeria, as well as infancy and reduce infancy deaths. Overall, we also provide a safe working environment in our plants and our hotel, ensuring that we are driving a strong level of incidents and injury-free operation, as well as driving psychological safety in everywhere that we work. On our governance, we're very proud of what we've done, because you see, governance is key. It's not just about the numbers that were reported. By having a strong governance system, we're able to sustain third performance and be able to drive it long term. We have our boards are largely made up of non-executive directors. So we have just about 14% of our directors being executive, 86 are non-executive directors. Then we also have a high representation of independent non-executive directors on the boards. Transcorp PLC itself, which is the parent company, is actually a balance of 50% INED and 50% non-executive director, even though the requirement is 1/3. It just shows how we push to drive on governance. We've maintained our corporate governance rating system, and we're certified by the Nigerian Exchange. We have a strong code of conduct, ethics, and compliance that cuts across not just us employees, but our directors, our vendors, and partners as well. On an annual basis, we have to recertify and clearly state whether there's any conflict of interest, and we do this across different things that we do up to our vendor selection process. And last but definitely not the least, we have our Nigerian data protection audit, where we're still certified as compliant, and is the status we have held since. I'll just go on to show you a few pictures. They say a picture tells 1,000 words, or is it 1,000,000 words? And these are just some pictures showing what we do. And you'll see here under World Environment Day, I invite you to note the children that are planting. This is really critical. And just underneath it as well, you see a picture. We go to schools to educate the children on the need to preserve the environment, tying into our Catch Them Young initiative. The children are the future. So they need to understand as well that they have a role to play towards keeping the environment safe. Next. And still just again here, right there in the middle, I just want to draw your attention to our beautifully clad students in their Transcorp uniform, orange and check shirt and gray pinafore and tie. And these are the other things that we do. Please continue. In the period, we've received some recognition. Like we always say, it's not done. We're not doing what we do because we want to be awarded, but it's quite encouraging when you get those awards and recognition. We have with Transcorp Hotel. I mean, Transcorp Hotels remains our multi-award winning hotel. We won multiple awards at the 7-Star Luxury and Lifestyle Awards 2025, being the best luxury hotel in Nigeria and Africa. But want to also highlight that our newly commissioned 5,000 capacity multipurpose event center is already being recognized for the value that it is creating within Nigeria and by extension, Africa, because we were awarded the best conference and event center in Nigeria and Africa. But why not? We are working and we're delivering value in there. And Uzo Oshogwe, who assumed duties as the CEO of Transcorp Hotel this year, was also recognized as the CEO of the year for the achievement that had been recorded in Transcorp Hotels, Transcorp Hilton Abuja this year. We've gone on to also get other awards at the parent company itself, but the World Business Outlook Award in 2 prestigious categories. One, Best Diversified Conglomerate in Nigeria, and Outstanding Contribution to Economic Development. Going on this year at the Nairametrics, they just instituted the Nairametrics Award. And Transcorp Group, we had the highest number of awards to a single company. We had 3. One being that Transcorp Hotel was awarded the Utilities and Infrastructure Company of the Year. Transcorp PLC got the Diversified Company of the Year. And overall, we got the highest award, being the Company of the Year on the Nigerian Exchange. I want to also just highlight that PWR Advisory has awarded Transcorp Hotels PLC as the most gender diverse on the NGX 30 board. What they're saying here is that we have a strong gender diversity, and Transcorp Hotels PLC is the company that has emerged as having the highest. So we have other awards, but we just wanted to highlight a few of them here, both corporate awards and on individual basis. And we are grateful to for the recognition that we're getting. We're grateful for the opportunity to be on international platforms, national platforms, to take forward the story of Nigeria's development, take forward the voice of ensuring that we bridge the energy gap in our country and, of course, in our continent. Looking ahead, so far, we've had a very strong year, notwithstanding the challenges, but we are people that focus on opportunities and we leverage those opportunities to move forward. As we look towards the end of the year, we shall continue to improve and sustain our generating capacity in our power plants. Festus had alluded when he spoke about the relocation of turbines. I'm sure you've been wondering, what's he talking about? So Afam 3 Fast Power, we have 8 new turbines that are located in the Afam axis in Rivers State. Unfortunately, there were some gas challenges there. So what did we do as innovative, resilient people? Instead of denying Nigerians denying Nigerians more access to power, we took it upon ourselves with the support of regulators and other strategic partners, including our board, to relocate 4 out of the 8 turbines that are there, relocated them to Ughelli Delta State. So we are able to generate more power because we have more gas sources in that region, unlike the Eastern axis. But things have also improved because Airs Energies has improved their gas. They've actually brought back to life a gas well. And today they are putting into the Nigerian network about 100 million scof of gas on a daily basis, which is now providing gas to the turbines that we have left in Afam as well as Ughelli. So first, we will improve and sustain our generating capacity. In our hospitality side, we shall continue to deliver world-class services. We recognize the value that the strategic opportunity from the event center, and we shall leverage that. We'll drive group synergy. Stakeholder management remains at the core. This kind of conversation is part of the strategy for engaging with our stakeholders. So we have an opportunity to share with you what we're doing, as well as hear back from you. And of course, at the core of it is our people and process, because people drive everything that we do. As we wrap up, so for Q4 2025, we remain focused on maintaining our position as market leaders in the various sectors we operate in. We will leverage synergies within and without our businesses, drive operational efficiency and effectiveness to enhance productivity, continue to keep an eye on the costs, ensuring that value is paramount in everything that we do. So at the end of the day, we're able to deliver superior customer value to all stakeholders. But to now bring this home very specifically, for our individual companies, Transcorp Power, Transafan Power, they will focus on increasing their available and generating capacity with a strong focus on improving generation. And driving this improvement in generation is the grid. We remain committed to providing power to Nigerians, and will work with the transmission company and the distribution company to achieve this. So for Transcorp Power, for Q4, the target is to end the year with a 750 megawatts of available capacity. But the average for the year will be 620 when you average from January to December 31st. Of that 620, we target to generate 528 megawatts on average, but a peak generation of 590. As at Q3, we're already at 424, and we're on track to achieve what we set out to do. For Transafan, like I just mentioned, we have successfully relocated 4 turbines from Afam to Ughelli, and we are finalizing all the electrical connection. They've all been tied to grid successfully, and 1 continues to operate, but we're going to conclude the remaining 3. And this week, push on that generation. Again, we are focused on getting power, much needed power to Nigerians. So for Transafan, at the end of this year, the target is to have an available capacity of 378 megawatts, of which we are going to be doing 294 megawatt targets. Overall, for both generation companies, we will drive the commercial side, exploring bilateral contracts with DISCOs and eligible customers where possible, as well as leveraging with the operators of the Nigerian grid to ensure that we are able to get power out from our various plants to the end users. On our Transcorp Hotel PLC, we shall continue to redefine hospitality standards in Nigeria. We are very proud of the 5,000 capacity event center. It has put Nigeria very strongly on the map. Just this year, we saw that Afrexim was able to hold their annual meetings in Abuja, and we had nationals from over 50 countries converge in Abuja to be a part of that historic event. And we've also seen the benefit of that event center, and we're going to leverage it and continue to drive alongside our 20 meeting rooms, our world-class restaurants, which we are also improving upon, and our rooms, which, as we say, is a home away from home. Looking to close the year with an ADR of 300,235 naira, drive occupancy to 85%, and a RevPAR of 255,508 naira. As we go towards the end of the year, there will be a lot more promos. It's getting to the festive period, and Abuja is going to be at the core of excitement, just like the way we have the Dirty December in Lagos. It is time to make Abuja a center of excellence as well, following what is happening in Lagos. And on our Transcorp Energy side, we continue to drive the realization of our OPL 281, and very critical and important to where the world is right now, our renewable energy development. Nigeria needs all the energy sources that it can get. We are rich in oil and gas, we'll leverage it. We have solar, we'll leverage it. We have hydro, we'll leverage it. And that is what we're going to do. So overall, for us in Transcorp, we shall continue to drive the purpose of improving lives and transforming Africa whilst of course creating value for all our stakeholders. So on that note, I want to say thank you, and let me hand over to Dr. Evans Okpogoro to take us through the Q&A section.
Impressive results, Owen, from Transcorp Group, surpassing full year revenue just in 9 months. That is very, very impressive. And I'm sure the investors are already smiling, waiting for the final results by year end. So we will take the questions. And if you have questions, like we did say, use the Q&A box under your screen and do type in your questions as time would permit, because it's just an hour call. We will be taking the questions and we will respond to as many of the questions as the time would permit. Owen, there's a question here. Maybe you would like to take this. A question around the Ikoyi Hotel projects.
All right, thank you very much, Evans. I think, so the question here, we say any update on the Ikoyi Hotel project? And let me invite the MD/CEO of Transcorp Hotels, Uzo Oshogwe, to just give us a quick update on where we are and what we have to look forward to in future. Uzo, please.
Okay, good afternoon, colleagues and investors. We are making good progress at the Transcorp Ikoyi Hotel. One of the great strides we've made is that we've secured the government building approval and received the government's consent for that development. As you know, the development is across 24 floors, 315 keys. We're going to have 900-seater ballroom, modernized back-of-house facilities. And where we've actually gotten to now is that we are the final stages of our tendering process, where we're going to select grade A contractors for civil works and also grade A MEP contractors. And we are extensively going through the value engineering so that we ensure that we have value for our money. As soon as that is done and we've selected our contractors, then we would actually go to, so as you're all also aware, we have actually concluded the piling for the hotel tower. So by this time next year, we'll have made great progress on site. So we're making good progress. I hope that satisfies you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Uzo. Evans.
Yeah, thank you, Owen. So there are questions I would just ask that you could take them, or you direct the questions to who should take them. One of which is very interesting. It says, any timeline for the listing of TransAfam on the Nigerian Stock Exchange? And the other question is on the impairments, the increase in impairments. You know, the question is, what sector are these impairments?
Okay, thank you very much, Evans. So I think the question is that you throw more color on the jump in impairments and what sectors. Festus, let me invite you to respond to that question, please.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Impairment provision is a requirement of the International Financial Reporting Standard, IFRS 9, and is based on a number of metrics. A weighted average of those metrics is the outcome. So it's not a static number. It can increase today and decrease tomorrow, depends on the weighted average of those customers' outstanding debts. Now, this impairment we have largely relates to outstanding balances due from embed secured by the federal government. As you must have heard in recent times, the federal government is determined to clear all this debt and pay them off. Once they are paid, this impairment will be unwind and reversed back to income statement of the company. So it's not a loss. It's a temporary provision which can be reversed once the collections are made. I hope that answers, that suffices. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Festus. And just to also add, as you can see with our increase in revenue, which is coming from improved power generation, receivables, if you look at the whole book, receivables have also gone up. On average, we get about 40 to 50% payment today. But like Festus has said, and let me also emphasize that we are in conversations with the government We've heard the president talk about the 4 trillion naira debt resolution, and Transcorp Power, TransAlpha, and of course, Transcorp Group. We are also having engagements with the relevant authorities to ensure that we get paid along with the line of has been discussed. Now, for the listing of TransAlpha, I think they say, watch this space, watch this space. But one thing you know about our group is that we are strong believers in shared prosperity, strong believers in shared prosperity. And as we continue to create value within the different companies, we will bring it forward so that Nigerians and the general public can share a part of the story. Because this is our country, it's our home, and we all have a part of it. Evans, any more questions?
Thank you very much, Owen. I think you've answered another question around the conversation around the power sector debt. I think you covered that in your statement. Someone is also asking if I refined it, you were flying, only with 2 engines out of 4. So when are we going to start earning from energy and agro-aligned businesses? I think that's the question.
Okay, thank you very much. Flying 2 out of 4 engines. Is it really 2 out of 4 engines? TransAlpha is flying. TransAlpha has 2 engines. Transcorp Power is flying. Transcorp Hotel is flying. Uzo just told us about what's coming on the Ikoyi side. On the energy side, like I mentioned in my earlier statement, we are driving an integrated energy strategy. So it's very key. And the asset that we have, the OPL281, is rich in oil and even richer in gas. So we are working in the short to medium term, to be able to extract the value from that investment. But perhaps let me just pull your attention to this, what's coming up in the renewable energy space, because there's value that's going to come out in there. Today, Nigeria, the grid takes only about 5 gigawatts of power, but we know that Nigeria needs over 50 gigawatts of power. And we also have evidence that there's 41 gigawatts of power that is being produced independently by people. What does this tell you? That there's significant value that is still coming up. And I'm sure all of us here on this call, we are all fed up with having to independently generate our power. And as we keep on creating more mini-grid, off-grid, and on-grid solutions, there's a ready market in there to drive more. And the last comment you say on the agro-allied. So as you do know from that question, we were once the investors in TerraGrow. As we move forward, Transcorp's investment in agric is something that is not negotiable, but we just keep on looking for the right spot in the agri value chain to come in and for our impact to be felt. So as always, we are open to hear back from you. So please feel free to share thoughts, ideas on how you think we can also go along this space. Thank you. Evans.
Thank you very much, Owen. There's a congratulatory message to the group on the feat we've achieved in 9 months, both in revenue and in profit. But the question then follows, how are we going to deal with the new payee regime, the new tax reforms? How is it going to affect our costs? And what is our compliance plan? How do we plan to navigate all of these tax reforms?
So who should Evans, I should take this question to now, Festus.
we both can answer that question.
All right, Festus, go ahead.
All right, good afternoon. Thank you for the question. As we are aware, the new tax regime is commencing effective 1st of January 2026. So during this period, every organization, we are scoping and reassessing the impact on our business. The new tax regime is being promoted by the Federal Revenue Services. We as a group and as a company, we have commenced the assessment of the impact on our business at various fronts. We have engaged consultants who is also helping us to assess the impact. We have our in-house tax expert employed by the group as well, helping to assess the impact. On the staff salary impact, yes, like you said, for the higher band in the ladder, the tax impact might be more serious than those on the lower band. But by the time the group completes the impact assessment, they will be in a position to provide further details to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Festus. I just to emphasize that when I spoke earlier on the ESG, we're very strong on governance, and we are high on corporate social responsibility. So rest assured, as you've seen with our company all along, we will comply and will continue to be efficient to ensure that value remains for the various stakeholders. Evans, do we have more questions?
Just one more. There's a question about the receivables, which you already spoke to. So the last question here is, no, there are two more questions, Ma. There's a question around understanding the challenges of the national grid. How will this affect our goal for continuously increasing our available capacity?
Thank you. I think let me invite the power CEOs. I would start. There's also another question I think I saw somewhere about our natural gas and just utilization. Let me invite our CEOs. I will start with Peter to address this, and maybe in talking, just highlight briefly the strategy around our power. Then, of course, Vincent, you'll be invited to support. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Owen. Good afternoon to all the participants on the call. So just to speak around our power strategy, so we, as Owen has mentioned during the presentation, we run an integrated power strategy. So our goal is really to power progress in Nigeria. So regarding the outlook for us in Transcorp Power, we continue to grow our generation. We hope to close out in 2026, with an available capacity of 750 megawatts. And regarding the question around gas, we have a blended source of gas from multiple suppliers and at very competitive commercial rates, which helps us manage overall costs. We continue to drive a lot of improvements in terms of operational efficiency, improvements in our plant. As you see, we continue to use that to manage and drive down our costs, while at the same time growing our overall generation and our top line. So that gives us a little bit of a flavor around our overall strategy, just to continue to deliver extensive value to our shareholders and our investors. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Vincent, please come in.
Okay, thank you. For us in Transform Power Limited, we are quite aggressive in our push to ensure contribution into the growth of the power sector. Today, we are currently at 348 megawatts of power, as alluded by our President CEO when she spoke. Our target is to end the year with 378 megawatts of power, thereby continuously and aggressively contributing to the power sector growth. In terms of the question regarding how we're dealing with the transmission issues, evacuation issues around the grid, as you know, Transcorp is a leading contributor in the power sector in Nigeria. We'll continue to work with the government in advocacy, partnering with the Electricity Regulatory Commission, partnering with Transmission Company of Nigeria, and of recent, this Independent System Organization, NISO, to ensure that transmission sector is reformed. We'll continue to play this key role to ensure that the power we generate gets to the last consumer in the system. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vincent. Thank you. Just to add, if you've been following our group chairman, Mr. Tony Elumelu, he's clear. We're just in Saudi. We talked about AI. I see the power. We need electricity to power AI. We're also very clear on bridging the energy poverty. We're very clear of the inclusion that energy sufficiency is going to drive. Yes, we are well aware of the challenges of the national grid, but look at it this way. Like Vincent and Peter have said, we're going to drive our power strategy, and we're going to work with stakeholders to ensure that power does get to the end user. There are opportunities. When the privatization of the power sector happened, there were discussions around the transmission company being either privatized or concessioned. Those discussions need to come back to the table as we look at improving the stability of the grid, expanding what can be taken, so we are able to evacuate more power than what we are currently doing as a country. I'm very happy that there's a strong focus on driving the industrialization, or a stronger focus on driving industrialization of Nigeria. And we cannot achieve sustainable economic development without fixing the power sector. And there's that focus on the power sector, which is why Mr. President has brought a team together that is actually trying to resolve the debt that's in the power sector today, because with this availability of these funds, we'll be able to plow back some and be able to even improve further. There's so many solutions, but we just need to ensure that we're able to deliver. And there was something about our utilization rates, I think I had mentioned. We are running on about 85% today, on average between 80 to 85%, but there's still room to see how to drive that even further. And this we are going to get done. Evans? Do we still have questions?
Yeah, there's no more questions. Thank you so much for, putting some clarity to these numbers. And these are not fluke, because Transcorp Group continues to grow its revenue and profitability with a strong sense of focus on corporate governance. Due to the fact that there are no more questions, maybe I will welcome you back to give a closing remark, to these investors call. Thank you very much, Owen.
Thank you very much, Evans, Peter, Vincent, Festus, Uzo, and in his absence, Chris, who, like I said earlier, is on a course at Cambridge. And of course, to our dear everyone who's joined this call, from the press, investor, analysts, general public. We thank you for joining us today to listen about your conglomerate, Nigeria's pride, Transnational Corporation Plc. We thank you for being a part of our story. We thank you for believing in us. We thank you for all the feedback, our shareholders, the feedback that you've sent to us, even as it relates to improving our service quality within the hotel, commending us where we've earned it, reprimanding us where we've also needed to hear that. We are partners in progress with you, and we remain committed to our purpose of improving lives and transforming Africa and delivering sustainable returns for all stakeholders. So once again, I say thank you. We have the page, we have our investor relations, we have different systems through which you can communicate with us. You can send an email to Festus or Evans or Pogoro. We are also very active on social media. You can connect to us by phone, connect to us by Twitter, Instagram, email, Facebook. I believe Uzo's company is on TikTok. So there are different ways for us to connect. LinkedIn is there as well. In summary, what we're saying is that we're here to hear from you. We're here to work with you. We're here to serve you as we look towards delivering a better Nigeria. Thank you, everyone, and have a good afternoon.